Today, we're going to talk to somebody whose Amazon journey started with just learning how to sell from Project X. And now she is selling over $40,000 a month and sold out of her first 1,000 units in only 3 weeks. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level, the Amazon, Walmart, or e-commerce world. We've got a serious seller on the line right now. I've only met her briefly at a conference, and I was like, all right, I just heard a little bit about your story. Don't tell me anymore. I want to wait until I can get the full story like on a podcast. So Ksenia, hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So which show was it that we met? Was it like White Label Expo?
Yeah, it was White Label in Las Vegas, in September.
Okay, cool. So now I didn't ask too much about your background at that time. So where are you now? And then like where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Russia originally. Now I live in Texas. I was in the hotel industry for about 5 years back in Russia. And then I got a job in the U.S. So I moved to the U.S. To work in the hotel industry.
All right. Interesting. What part of Russia are you from?
St. Petersburg.
Okay. Excellent. That's on my bucket list to visit. All right. So how many years were you doing that there in Texas?
Oh, no, it was originally when I moved to the U.S., I was in Vermont, and then I got married and I had to move to a different state. And while on that transition, moving to a different state, I had like a 6 months where I was changing my legal status in the U.S., so I couldn't work. So I took that time to think what I want to do next after that.
Okay, and then that's when you moved to the hotel industry, or this is after the you were working?
No, I worked a year at the hotel, and then I got married, and I moved to Texas, and then where I didn't work for about 6 months, and then when I decided to go into all the e-commerce thing.
How did you first discover that? Were you just like Googling, work from home jobs or what?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I was doing eBay before as a hobby. So I started doing eBay full time basically. And then I thought that...
What were you selling on eBay?
I was buying collectibles from Russia that was selling in the US.
Did you ever look at the addresses that you were and names that you were sending to? Were like they mostly Russian names or were they mostly American people buying?
No, it was mostly American. It was Americans, Canadians. Also, I sold, it was like Latin America, like Chile or Argentina. They like to buy like a soccer memorabilia, basically.
Okay. And this, you made enough money to make it a full-time for yourself?
No, it wasn't a full-time. It was making money, but it was not enough to live on it full-time.
Okay. How did you come up with that idea?
I don't know. Just I worked at the Olympic Games before, and I saw those things, so I knew that they have value. And I just looked up if it's selling on eBay and how much is it selling for. I realized you can make profits on it selling that stuff.
Did you have contacts still in Russia where you could get it for like in a way that just the normal person couldn't get it? Like people. Okay.
Well, I had friends, and I hired a person who was buying. Well, so there's a thing in Russia that's basically a Russian eBay. So I was looking it up there, finding it, and then the person there was going, checking it if it's in a good condition, and I was transferring money, and they were shipping it from Russia to all the customers, like in the US and all other countries.
Oh, almost like drop shipping.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting because I always like talking about unique ways of making money. It doesn't have to be Amazon. It could be Etsy. We just had an episode recently. We talked about Facebook shops, and that could be interesting. Like, let's say somebody comes from another country. They might have connections that the average American or whatever country they're in don't have. Well, go check. There's people buying collectibles, and then maybe if you have a way to drop ship it fast, maybe it's from Japan, maybe it's from Argentina, wherever, that could be an interesting way to build up some money in order to start your own private label business. So you were doing that on eBay, and then during that is when you discovered the Amazon opportunity?
Yeah, I just realized no, you could have made enough money to live on eBay, but the problem is that like you had to sell. It's managing it all. So
Yeah.
every single thing you had to sell, you had to connect it with the person who would go pick it up. So it's much harder. So I was looking at other options, and I found Amazon. And then first I started doing the retail arbitrage on Amazon. So it
Okay.
seems easier to me. And the first 5 or 6 months, I was doing that and kind of learning the system. But then I fast realized that it's not the way how you're going to make money on Amazon. I
It's
mean, you
almost the same. It
could,
was
but
almost the same thing from the eBay's, like a lot of work, right? Like, were you going to stores and buying and then selling it on Amazon,
yeah,
or
yeah, I was
was it
going to
okay?
Walmart. Yeah, I was going to Walmart and find things at Walmart and then sell on Amazon. Yeah, it's you have to pick up the box and take all that stuff. And no, I just fast realized that's not what I want to do.
Okay. And then what was the next step?
Well, the next step was a lot of YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos to discover the private label. Then I realized that's what I need to do to actually make money. I found my first product. It's kind of funny story. I can say what's the first product is. I'm not selling it anymore. It's not a good product to sell right now. So it was a machine washable paper towels.
Okay.
I'm sure you never heard about
I've
that.
never even heard of that, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's almost like a burrito blanket. It was actually it wasn't a Shark Tank. I discovered later that wasn't a Shark Tank. Yeah, so I started selling that, and it was about 5 or 6 months before all the pandemic started. And you know what happened with all the paper towels thing during the pandemic stuff. So I started selling it about 5 or 6 months before, and it seemed like a good product. It was making, I don't know, about 3 to 5 thousand a month in sales, which for the first product is not that bad. And then, of course, it got crazy during all the 2020 stuff around March.
And so, like, why did it fail then?
Well, so people saw how much demand it has during the coronavirus. And then, so I sold all the inventory in like 2 or 3 weeks. That was back in March 2020. And then I
Was that
couldn't get,
500, 1,000, or how many units?
I think about it was over 1,000. Yeah, it was over 1,000
Wow.
units. And
Okay.
I was thinking about sell. It should have been selling for like 3 months instead of 2 weeks. So I got out of stock for about 2 or 3 months with everything that started going on. The factory's been closed and stuff like that. And then by the time I was able to get back in stock, of course, all the competition, like from 5 sellers, it got to like 40. And because you couldn't differentiate that much, because I mean it's basically paper towels that you can machine wash. You can do is change the color and an amount that you're selling. So all those Chinese sellers came in and they started dropping the price. And so it just didn't make any sense to because you couldn't change anything. So I just decided to quickly sell out and just get the money back. And I made the money on it. I didn't lose any money, but I just realized it's not a good time. It's not a good product anymore
How
to
did you
sell.
find that product? Like, how did you find something that at the time there was only like 3 or 4 sellers, or maybe even less, since that was when you launched it?
Yeah, no, I was about 5 sellers when I started. The same YouTube, strategies as everybody's teaching. So nothing new. Just looking for
Okay,
keywords,
excellent.
looking for
Uh,
products.
so at this point, you didn't even invest any money in courses or anything like
Oh
that. You were
no,
able to just, from
yeah,
free
just
information out there, you were able to, okay, I like it.
yeah.
All right. So then you're like, oh man, this is this product failed. The competition is very high. So what made you not give up? And then how did you choose your next product then?
Well, then I came to watching the Freedom Ticket actually because I've been using Helium 10 from the beginning, but I was like, and I was looking at the Freedom Ticket. I was like, oh, it's so many hours. You really have to watch all those hours. It's. I think all the people I told about it.
I don't know how this is coming out to the audience, but it almost seems like, Ksenia, you're kind of a lazy person. Like, oh, this
Yeah,
eBay thing is too much. Or, oh, this arbitrage. Oh, Freedom Ticket, it's free, but it's like 40 hours. Oh, no, I'm just playing. But I see a trend here. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love entrepreneur life. You get to control how much or how little you want to work. So I like it.
yeah. But then I realized that it's probably the good thing. I read reviews and started watching it, and then I discovered the Project X, and then I thought, well, if those guys can do that, why can't I do that? So I just started following everything you've been talking about on Project X. to find the.
Okay, excellent. So you actually discovered Project X from Freedom Ticket as opposed to just randomly on YouTube then?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what was it and I think you might have mentioned this and that's why it piqued my interest. Was it the Project X like method of how you launched your second product?
Yes, it's exactly. I just started from zero, basically from the beginning. I forgot everything that I knew before and started following you. What you were saying on the Project X is looking not for the product, but looking for the keyword, and that's how I discovered the product. Well, a keyword for my
Do
product.
you remember like what kind of filters you were using? Like were you looking for something with a certain search volume or in certain categories or with low reviews or I mean I know that's maybe a year or two ago now, but do you remember at all how you
Yeah, well, the first that I wanted to focus on looking at the home and kitchen category, something because I wanted to sell something that I know people use every day, and I know that I can understand the use of that product. Instead of selling something that I don't know what I'm doing or that I don't know how to use it or if I can't use it. So for me, that was the main goal, and of course, finding something that has less reviews and not a very big search volume. So I was looking around like 5,000 searches a month, but no more than that.
All right. That's an interesting point that she brought out, guys. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to be you have to, before you even pick the product, you have to be an expert in it. But if you don't, I mean, that's the most ideal. Like, if you know right off the bat, hey, I know exactly how to use this. I mean, that's amazing. But it's very rare that would be something that, that is the opportunity. But, like me with the Project X and Tim, like we didn't know nothing about coffin shelf market or Gothic decor. But guess what? I made myself become an expert. I studied it. I was like, okay, how would people use this? Some people, put it on a countertop. Some people hang it on the wall. What kind of things are people are gonna put inside? What kind of complementary products? You might discover something, using Etsy or using Black Box or whatever that you didn't even know existed, but you've got to be able to make yourself an expert in that. If you don't understand the product, if you don't understand the kind of customer that would buy that, it's going to be very difficult to be successful. So I like how you're like, hey, I need to know, I need to know myself how to use this product before I can figure out how to sell it to others. So you found the opportunity, validated it. Was it something you ordered from Alibaba or just you found your own factory, or how did you go through that process?
Yeah, so first, I found a keyword, and so my product is an accessory to another product. So I created the listing. I decided to I ordered samples, and I had to customize it because it's something that basically for the one product that I wanted to sell, there was a demand. So there was about 2 to 3 to 4,000 people looking for it a month. Searches a month, but nobody was selling it. And I thought, like, well, this is weird. Like, nobody's selling it. I mean, there's 3 or 4 or 5.
So when you enter that keyword that you found in Black Box or whatever in Amazon, the results, it wasn't even that keyword.
No, so there was a keyword. People were searching. So there was about 3 to 4, 5,000 searches a month. But when I put it on Amazon, nobody was selling that product.
So that was like Project X, like the coffin shelf. It was like there may be one coffin shelf, and then the rest were just like random shelves because Amazon didn't have anything to show. I love that. I love that strategy. Okay.
Yeah. So I found that, and I thought, well, this is weird. And since it was an accessory to another product, I decided to go to Facebook, and I went to Facebook group of the main product, which mine is you can kind of compare it to like an iPhone case. So, and I found an opportunity for an iPhone case, but then I decided to go to Facebook group for the iPhone and see if people are really looking for that product. And I saw that they do. And a lot of people are trying to, make it themselves or something like that because nobody was selling it. And I thought, okay, well, this is a good idea. But then when I started digging deeper, I saw that there was actually one person selling it, but they were out of stock for 3 to 4 months already. And it really was
the coffin shelf project. That's exactly what happened to us for that. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, then I created the test listing on Amazon. After I got the samples, of course, I decided to customize it and change it so it's different from what my competitor was selling. And when I made a test listing, I only had like 5 units. I didn't make much because I couldn't because it was custom.
What was it? Samples? Is that what you used for the test listing?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it were samples, and I decided to put like almost twice higher to what I'm selling now, and I sold those units in the first 2 hours.
2 hours. Wow.
Yeah,
You
it
see.
was
All right. So
crazy.
guys, we've talked about what that is before, but let's say you have not watched Project X and you didn't hear an episode. I would go to helium10.com/podcast and type in the search bar. I don't have the exact number handy here, but type in the search bar PPC test list, and you'll see either a blog or a podcast we did about this. But a 1 minute example of this is kind of like what Ksenia just did. Either find from Etsy somebody who's got your product, or you can get like 5-10 samples from a factory. And the cases in which you would do this is when there's not enough data to validate your idea. So like Ksenia said, there's 5,000 searches, so hey, there's demand, but you have like no competitors to look at. You don't know their sales history because it looks like there was one person selling it, but they were out of stock for months. So when you don't have enough data, and if you're not feeling confident about your idea, and you need to like figure out, hey, what are the main keywords that people would use for this or things like that, you put up something with like 5 or 10 units and put it at a high price and not a great listing, just like to kind of do a rudimentary listing, and then do a kind of like big PPC campaign where it's a high bid on the keywords that you think, but you have no data on, that you think would convert for this. And then basically if somebody would buy your product at 2x or 3x the price with a bad listing, and just because they see it, then it kind of validates that, okay, what I thought would work is definitely going to work. And so, you know what, I'm going to go ahead all in. So again, that's just a fast version of what that is, what she's talking about, but go back to listen to a podcast. We had a podcast episode all about that. All right. So I'm assuming you got really excited after those 2 or 3 hours, like, wow, this is pretty incredible. So what was your next step? Just went ahead and ordered, 500,000 units?
Yeah, I ordered 1,000 units for the first, because that was the minimum order. The problem, I should have been ordered more, but the problem was that it was very expensive to source. So the landing cost was about $12. So with the shipping,
$12 delivered to Amazon.
Yeah, delivered to Amazon. So for you looking at like, I think the first I invested around 15,000 together with pictures and stuff like that. I've put it in. So
how did you do your images or your pictures?
Oh, I had a photographer. Yeah,
like here or in China?
No, here in the US.
So then, did you save one of the samples so they do it, or you had to once you had them produce it? I had another factory products?
Okay. I had another sample. Yeah, that I sent to the photographer.
How much did that cost you? The photography?
I think about 500 for all the images.
Okay, so they would do like the white background, the lifestyle images,
everything. Yeah. And I just did the A+ content myself because I already was brand registered by that time with my first product.
Oh, okay. So it just happened to be that you could use the same brand as the paper towel one?
Yeah. Well, when I decided to do the first private label product, I decided that I need to come up with a brand name that will not be attached to any product, just a general name. So that way, because I knew that probably I'm not going to be staying in the same niche all the time. So I came up with just a general name, just a general brand name so I could use in the future. So yeah, I'm still using the same brand name.
Okay, excellent. So you got the units in. Now you launched it at the half the price of your test listing?
Yeah. So I launched it, and I think the first day I sold, I don't remember how many units it was, but it was for $1,000. That was the sales in the first day.
How did you get visibility on your keywords, since you were one of the only ones to have the exact product? Like, did you get on page one on day one just because nobody else had it? Or you had to do some campaign or something to get
of course I started doing PPC from the first day, but I showed up on the page one. It was somewhere in the middle of page one just because other products were showing up. They were not relevant to what I was selling, but they were just showing up.
And they didn't have the keywords in the title.
No, they didn't. They didn't. See, but
that's Maldives honeymoon strategy right there.
I started showing up on probably I think it was the middle of page one. So I started writing PPC. Plus, I started writing PPC on the keywords that I started doing exactly what you were saying. I started from the lower. So for the keywords that were like 5 to 7,000 probably, because there were keywords that were attached to the main product, which mine is an accessory for. So I kept those keywords for when I get some reviews, because those are like 50,000, 60,000 searches a month. So I started with the smaller keywords. And what I also did, I thought that I'll just go to the Facebook groups of the main product. And I just posted that, oh, look, there's a product that just showed up on Amazon. And people just started buying and clicking the link from the Facebook groups starting the first day. And then they just started posting when they got the product, and they started posting and showing how they use it. And that was crazy because the first batch that I was selling, I almost didn't use any PPC. I mean, I did, but I didn't spend any money because a lot of sales were coming in from Facebook groups.
So wait, so rewind. I was kind of zoning out there. So how did you get that visibility in Facebook group? Was that from the influencers, or you already had lined up these Facebook
No,
groups?
I told you that my product is an accessory to another product. So I went to
So it's
Facebook
the
group
Facebook groups are on the
of
other.
the
Okay.
yes, from the other product. And from the day one, I posted on those groups that, look, guys, there is this accessory that just became available on Amazon. And people start clicking and buying from day one.
Did you have to ask permission to get in? Like, because it's not. I'm assuming it's not your Facebook groups, or you just did it, but nobody got mad because it was such an amazing thing.
It was not an official group. It was just a group of people that came up together, like, oh, we use this product. So it was not an official Facebook group of a brand.
Okay, so it's not like there's like these rules where you can't just advertise.
No, no,
Okay,
it was nothing like that. And then after that, what happened, which was crazy, is that people, when they start receiving the product and they start showing how they use it, and I could read what they like and what they don't like about the product.
In the group?
Yes, in the group, yeah.
So I'm assuming you line this up. It's not like, just on day one of your product, you discovered that there was Facebook groups about it. You had been doing research and like we had a list.
That's how I validated the idea. Yeah, earlier I said that is that when I saw the demand on Amazon, I decided to go on Facebook and see if there's actually a demand. And I checked on those groups that people are trying to make this product themselves. Like they're trying to do something because there was no availability anywhere for that product.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like that. So, see, I don't think we've ever talked about that as far as product research goes. But yeah, maybe the journey starts on, Helium 10 or something like that. But once you get to this validation part, there's other ways to validate product opportunity. And I haven't really thought about that. Usually when we think about Facebook groups, it's kind of like your second stage. It's like, all right, hey everybody, take a look at this product. But you even use that to see that there's demand for this exact product because people are trying to do that on their own, and that is a great way to find product opportunity as well.
Yeah, they were trying to buy a similar product that were showing up for the search results and modify themselves, because there was just nothing exactly as they were looking for. And of course, there was so much demand for that product when I posted it, and they started buying it from the day one. So basically, I probably didn't even need to use any PPC because people were just buying straight from the link in Facebook groups.
So how long did it take you to sell out of that first 1,000 units?
About 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like 40 day. Wow. So that was a pretty great number of sales per day.
Yeah, the first months it did 25,000 in sales.
Well, what was your so your retail price was like around $25?
No, $50.
$50.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, $50. And then so even though you're that's still a pretty decent profit margin, even with your landed cost being $12 there.
Yeah, it was a little bit over 40% because I didn't use much PPC because I was mostly promoting through the Facebook groups. And for the first batch, I didn't use that much of 3PL. So yeah, the profit was about 40%.
Okay. So since you've got 5 weeks, I'm assuming you were out of stock for a certain period of time because it takes longer than 5 weeks for a new shipment to come in. So how long were you out of stock?
I think I was out of stock. So I reordered on the week 2 of selling because I saw that it has sales and it's actually working. And I sold out in September and I came back in stock end of October. So about a month probably.
Okay. So you still were able to get it back before like the heavy Christmas season. And now we're talking about 2020 or
it was 2021.
2020. Well, so this is just last year.
Last year. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Now, how much was your second order? Was it more than 1,000 units?
Yeah. It was, I think 2 or 3,000. I don't remember already. Yeah, I reinvested everything that I got from the first batch. But the problem was that I started shipping. Like I shipped 600 or 700 of fast shipping, so I could get it really, really fast in October.
Yes.
And I got it on time and I sold out of them very fast. But the main shipment that was supposed to be there for like November and December, it got pulled for an inspection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sold out those 600. Yeah, I sold out those 600 in about, I don't know, 2 weeks probably in October, from like mid October, end of October to like mid November. And right before all the craziness started, I was out of stock again.
Okay. So you started selling this, the original shipment, was it like August, September then?
In end of July.
July.
The
Okay.
first
So
one.
then,
Yeah.
in the second half, so not even half a year of sales, and then with being out of stock a lot, how much gross revenue did you do?
I don't remember total, but I can tell you for the last 30 days. So I came back in stock mid December, and so
Mhm.
basically for the January is around 40,000.
Okay. All right. So this is, so you're making definitely a, 6-figure product, and if you stay in stock the whole year, who knows, just one product could end up being 7 figures. But now that you are able to like have all this momentum, have there been any, other sellers now trying to do what you're doing, or still nobody else has launched?
No, yeah, there are several. So the first, my competitor got back in stock. They have two variations of that product, and they're basically the main seller. So they're doing with each variation about 50,000 a month. So if I'm doing 40, well, I'm a little bit less than they do, but still about the same. But they have over 1,000 reviews. I only do like 110, a little bit over 100 right now. And there were several small sellers, mostly Chinese, that were trying to get into the space right now. But their problem is that they cannot test the product and they cannot modify it perfectly because they don't have access to the main product, which mine is accessory for, because the main product is only sold in the US and Canada.
Ah,
So
okay.
they I'm kind of a little bit protected to that because they can, but it's very expensive to get it from the US. And they don't want to do it. So all their listings that they're trying to create right now, one, they even stole my pictures. So they launched similar
Huh.
product and they just literally stole my pictures. But I reported it to Amazon and they removed the listing because I
How
have
did you report it? Like what did you select to do
through
that?
the brand registry. They literally just used my pictures. So they got my pictures and they put their product over mine. But like infographics and everything was literally mine. They didn't even change anything. So Amazon,
So you reported them through brand registry, and then
yeah,
it took
yeah,
them down. Okay.
yeah. They removed it the same day because they saw that this is crazy what they're doing.
Yeah. Now, this product is an accessory of another one. Is the other? I mean, regardless if it's a known brand name, but I'm assuming that they're a brand on Amazon. Like, you're not putting their brand in your listing, or can you put it because it's an official or it's an accessory, so you can say, hey, fits with, let's just call it Samsung or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I can't put like if you're talking about like iPhone and iPhone cases, I can't put it's an iPhone case. I put it as a case for iPhone.
Or compatible with or something like that.
I was
Okay.
researching that because didn't want to get in trouble with that. But yeah, I do use.
Have you checked, like, did you get the frequently bought together with their
Yeah.
product?
It's showing up on their page, on the page of their product on Amazon. It's showing up and frequently bought together. My product is the first that's showing up.
Okay, so is this still the only product you currently are selling?
Yes. This is an only product. I'm about to launch another variation of this product, another style variation. It's already got to the US, so it's hopefully will be launched in maybe a week or 2 weeks. We'll see how fast it will get to Amazon.
Okay, so I know your profit margin probably went down
Yeah.
when you had to do that fast shipping and competition and stuff, but still probably making at least 25%.
So it's around 30. Yeah.
Around 30. Okay. Have you surpassed? Are you showing off to your husband like, hey, look, I'm making more money than you now, or what does he think about that?
Well, not yet because I can't say that because I'm still reinvesting most of it with launching the second product. But yeah, hopefully this year.
Okay. Well, what did he think? So, and this is a question. Regardless, whether it's family, whether it's husband, whether it's wife. Sometimes people say, yeah, I'm going to invest $20,000 or $15,000 into selling this weird product on Amazon. the normal person doesn't really, they're like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? Like, did you get support from your husband and family on it? Or did he say things like you're crazy or?
Well, he's actually a business owner too, so he can understand me. He was the one that it was really hard to start mentally because I was scared of putting so much money in. With the first product, it was maybe like 3,000, but with this one, it was like 15,000. I was like, this is crazy. I was stopping myself from doing that, but yeah, he was very supportive to that because he knows that you need to put the money to make the money, just not going to just appear from somewhere. And I noticed that it's much easier to scale with this product because it cuts a lot of competitors because of how much money you need to invest to start. And most of the people who are just starting, they might even see this opportunity, but they will be like, oh, we need to put $15,000 for the first batch and we don't know how it's gonna go. So most of the people are trying to stick with I don't know, the products that will cost them $2-3 to source instead of 10 or 12.
Yeah. All right. So now, I know we're only a month into 2022, but do you already have goals for the end of the year? Like, how many products you're going to have and what gross revenue number that you will be able to hit?
Yeah, well, with the second one, with 2 products, hopefully, I hope it's going to be over $500,000 a year. But also, I'm working on the third one right now, which is in the same niche and it's the same variation because I just see the demand again from the Facebook groups. I see what people are looking for, different styles of this product. So yeah, I'm working on a third one. I don't know how we'll go with 3 of them, but with 2, hopefully, yeah, it should be around $500,000.
What did you do to get those 1,000 reviews and with barely selling that much?
No, I have only 100. I only have 100.
I thought you said 1,000. Okay,
no,
I was about
it's
to say
my competitor. No, it's my competitor.
Oh, your competitor had okay.
They have.
So, are you doing anything to get those reviews? Like, you using follow up, or you have any inserts or anything like that?
Yeah. I started doing a follow up from the beginning. I don't do any inserts, just a follow up.
Well, which follow up are you doing? Doing the Amazon request review, or you're making your own custom emails?
My own custom, the follow up through Helium 10.
Okay, make sure to check. Like, we just launched it last week or this week. There's a new kind of widget inside of follow up where you can actually see the it's a graph that compares your sales with how your reviews go and how many review requests. Like, maybe you can even do some split testing, like you want to try a different email and then see if it does better. That's something that's brand new. If you're using follow up, you'll be able to check out. So all right, well, this is very exciting. Now, you had given us already one unique strat, or a number of unique strategies, such as the Facebook groups and how you use the PPC test listing and things. But we have this thing on the show we call the TST 30-second tip. So, are there 1 or 2 other things that you think you're doing that's kind of unique, or maybe just some advice you have for other sellers who are brand new or semi-new like yourself that you can share with the audience?
I just think that it's more like an advice. I think people should treat this business as the real business. Like if you talk about having a restaurant or something like that, instead of, like on a YouTube, they promote it as the get rich quick or something like that. So I don't think people should treat it like that because it's a hard work. It's a lot of hours and it's not as easy as many people would say it is. And just not to be scared to invest the money in it.
Okay. I love it. All right. So, I'll be seeing you hopefully, maybe at the Prosper show in March, or make sure to, find out more information about our Sell and Scale Summit in Vegas in September. It's going to be 10 times as big as some of the smaller events out there. We're really going all in, and it'd be great for people, who are listening out there, maybe inspired by you. They can meet you in person and you could, share some more some more of your journey out there. All right, Ksenia, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.